We just got our first behind-the-scenes look of Ghostface in Scream 7, as well as some world-building shots from this upcoming entry. Now let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm KillJoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. An anonymous source from the Scream 7 set has sent some really interesting behind-the-scenes pictures to CRAVEN'S Something Scary, another Scream YouTuber and personal friend of mine. Steven rocks, you should totally subscribe to his page. We got to see our first look at Ghostface, as well as some pictures that flesh out the new setting of Pine Grove, Indiana. I even got in contact with this source myself, and had a really interesting chat about things that were seen on the set. Kicking off this update video is a shot of the set from afar. You can even see the theater from previous set photos that have been released. You can also see our crew shooting what I think are establishing shots with the crane here. There's also leaves on the ground, which confirms a fall setting for the upcoming installment. I know we've already touched on this in previous videos, but it is funny to note where the leaves stop in that picture, like they're clearly just filming a part of this. I would love to be the guy whose job it is to just take a big old bag of fake leaves and throw them on the ground somewhere. How do I get that job? I will work for peanuts, dog. Speaking of which, I love how moody this looks with a little bit of fog and those nasty yellow streetlights. The atmosphere in this shot is really doing something for me. Another notable shot is this "Vote for Ron Lynch" sign. Now, I'm pretty face blind, so I may be wrong here, but it does look a lot like Ethan Embry, who joined the cast recently. Maybe he's playing some sort of diabolical politician trying to become the mayor of Sydney City. Try saying that 5 times fast. Sydney City, Sydney City, Sydney City. Fuck. Unique New York. Unique New York. Seriously though, this is another indication that Scream 7's story might have some resemblance to It's a Wonderful Knife, another murder mystery slasher set in a small town with a pretty vicious mayor. Scream 7 also features Joel McHale in the cast, someone who plays pretty much the same role in It's a Wonderful Knife, oddly enough. Now we just need Justin Long being an a-hole to everybody in Pine Grove here, and it's essentially It's a Wonderful Knife 2.0. I also want to note that there seems to be a little trend to have a political edge in murder mystery slashers lately, between Knife and the film Founders Day. This character might end up being our next Ghostface. Keep an eye on old Ronnie here. Now, this anonymous source who I've been talking about also got inside of the restaurant where they were filming during the beginning of Scream 7's production. You might remember that picture that Kevin Williamson posted to his Instagram. This restaurant definitely has an old school feel to it, and kinda looks like it's right out of a horror movie to begin with. Rumor has it that Mason Gooding and Celeste O'Connor were shooting some sort of scene here, and if another rumor is to be believed that Tara and Chad have split up in universe, maybe these two are dating now. That could be what pulls the Meeks Martin twins specifically into this story without the Carpenter sisters. Mason and Celeste could possibly be going on some sort of date here, where maybe they're attacked by Ghostface, or just having an expository conversation. Finally, we got this shot of Ghostface hanging outside of a coffee shop. This is technically our first still of old Ghosty, and I can't tell if he's wearing the Scream 6 cracked mask or not. Interestingly enough, this anonymous source couldn't confirm or deny that either. It makes you wonder why they might be wearing an old mask from the past or not. As you can see, the photo is from a distance, so we can't really tell. Now, I've also seen a video of a certain character from this movie getting chased by said Ghostface. Craven and I have both elected not to share this video with the public, as we feel like it's really stepping into spoiler territory. It pretty much eliminates one of the cast members from being under the mask, and we feel that's an overshare from the production. Besides, the biggest thing to talk about is the fact that this chase scene looks awesome. You don't want to have that spoiled before it's all edited together. I mean, I'm kind of jealous of all of you watching, if I'm being real. From that though, I can tell you that chase scenes are in full effect here in Scream 7, which has me hyped. I also want this update to serve as a reminder that this channel does not aim to spoil upcoming productions, and that some scoops just shouldn't be reported on. As long as I'm in charge of this channel, that's always going to remain a constant. All of these stills are definitely giving me some Scream 4 vibes, which I think after 7 releases, many fans will likely be comparing this one to. Sort of like how early reviewers called Halloween Ends a new take on Curse of Michael Myers. I remember many fans comparing Scream 5 to Scream 4 because it's a little more of a modern approach, but even then in Scream 4, a lot of those elements from the previous 3 flicks before it it were still very much so present in that last Wes Craven sequel. You still have the showcase phone calls, the big chase scenes, and also a focus on building the next chapter of the main three characters' lives. That is, of course, Dewey, Gale, and Sydney. These are the things that'll stay in common between 4 and 7. I really enjoyed Scream 2022, but it was much more about the shocking kill rather than a big chase scene. Think about Wes and Judy's death. Judy races back to her house after an anonymous caller threatens to kill her son, only to have Ghostface jump out and stab her in broad daylight. No one saw that coming. Then Ghostface kind of just apparates behind Wes in the house and slowly stabs him through the neck. Ew. It's an effective scene for the shocks and the hard-to-watch kill, but the approach is definitely different than the 4 Scream films prior to it, because there's still tension building in that scene. You have all these shots of Judy racing back to her house past all these people standing on the sidewalk, and even that campy sequence of Wes looking around the house, opening and closing doors and cabinets or whatever, is absolutely tension building. It's just a different way to do it. Longtime fans yearn for the traditional approach. I'm making this sound so much more melodramatic than it is, but I think that is absolutely going to be the case here with Scream 7. The other thing that 5 and 6 didn't really put a focus on was trying to tell the next chapter of our main characters' lives. That is, of course, Sydney, Gale, and Dewey. That's not necessarily a knock towards Scream 5 and 6. Obviously, they were trying to put the focus on brand new characters there, but 7 definitely seems to be building upon the old characters once again. Sydney's a mom now, and Gale is rumored to have some sort of romance and possibly even a lawsuit with this other reporter she's working with. My opinion is I just don't even want to see Sydney and Gale in a new Scream movie unless you're going to do something like this. If their only purpose in a new film is to be third act backup, then don't even put them in there in the first place. Personally, I'm loving what I'm seeing from a set that has a lot to prove. Scream 7, in a lot of ways, is the underdog of this franchise revival after multiple controversial setbacks and delays. Hearing about the passion on set from director Kevin Williamson and these killer-looking new shots definitely has the narrative flipping a bit for this storied franchise that hit some turbulence recently. Listen, I'm a Cleveland sports fan. I know what it feels like to root for the underdog. Scream 7 drops on February 27th of 2026, and your boy will keep you updated until then. Hey everybody, before we wrap up today's update video, please subscribe to this page. After reaching a new milestone of 30,000 subscribers last week, I'm very confident that this channel can eventually hit 100,000, so please help our community by tickling that little red button. Also, check out my horror gaming channel GullGotha for weekly gaming streams and videos. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to both of my pages. What do you guys think about these new set photos and Scream 7 overall? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.